I'm really excited for this one. If you don't know, I am doing Pelicans coverage this year at Hard in the Paint Sports, which I will link below. So if you're a Pelicans specific fan, you can find more stuff of me there. And the Rockets have many of my favorite young players in the league. So I'm really excited to react to this one. Of course, as usual, I saw a couple of men clips early, but I have not seen any of the highlights. Looks like a nice bucket by Brandon Ingram to begin this one. I am a Brandon Ingram believer, regardless of what happens with Team USA or whatever. I think he is really, really quality, and he's just going to be really solid as a secondary scorer, especially if Zion is healthy. And even if Zion is, healthy and on the floor, the defense is kind of an issue and just has been very much aloof. I mean, this was a good initial job to cut off the pass, but the recovery is just so slow. And for someone with his level of speed, you just expect him to get out there faster. He needs to get out there faster. And it's obviously only preseason, and I'm not really stressing if I'm the Pelicans, but always something to keep an eye on, as it looks like we're going to get a CJ triple here. Definitely interested to watch him as well. Hopefully playing more off of Zion, more good off-ball stuff from him. Beautiful pass by JV. And JV, again, always important that he's good on offense for the Pelicans just because of how much he takes away on defense in terms of not having a rim protector there. But I think JV is always going to bring that really steady offensive presence as a post scorer, as a little post hook scorer as well. And ooh, are we getting some Jabari? Oh my goodness. I like this a lot. I heard some people on the timeline talking about this, but look how flexible Jabari gets on this drive, how low he gets. This was a big issue for him coming out for me, and a big reason of why I didn't think he was like a top two prospect in that class, like some did, where he really couldn't get low and get separation. But look at him being patient in the pick and roll, getting low, and really great job finding. This is not a Jabari Smith play, and really, really impressive. Really, really impressive flash right there. I know he played well in this game, so I'm excited to see how he ends up getting his, but any kind of separation, pick and roll, passing flashes for him are great, because all of that is just extra stuff. Assuming the shooting is as it should be, and assuming the defense is as it should be, anything else is just a really nice bonus for the Rockets. And Jabari, there's no real way to say it nicely. He had a really, really rough rookie season, but I think the context, again, was about as bad as it gets. So in a better environment, hopefully this year, I'm very excited to see what Jabari can do and how he can develop. Great pass by Şengün. Again, he's one of my favorite passers in the league to watch at center. Just so flashy, and just is very committed to trying cool shit all the time, which is something I really respect. The desire to try cool shit all the time is one of my favorite things in a player. Jalen Green going downhill. I know people said he was hurt in this game. Definitely interested to see how he looks coming out, because it's obviously going to be an important season for him. Here we see one of my long-time Jabari criticisms is the rim protection just isn't very strong. This is good awareness, great job getting in position, but he's just not very explosive vertically. The length isn't what you want, and against some of the best, longest players in the league like Brandon Ingram, is just not going to work. And I think Jabari is better suited as a guy who's chasing Ingram on the perimeter, honestly, with his quickness and lateral agility. Again, assuming he makes the normal defensive progressions that second year players often make. This is Jabari bread and butter. Face up, fade away, over a mismatch. That's just what he's going to do. And at his peak, that should be the main thing that he does, aside from just spacing. The face up scoring was always excellent, excellent stuff. Really intrigued to see what Kyra can do this year, especially on offense. I think his defense has been kind of underrated, and the offense has been a struggle, but love using his speed. The Pelicans run a double pin down screen off of this dribble handoff. That was not correct, but to get him going downhill towards the rim. Again, we see Jabari struggle to provide resistance as a rim protector, but any improvement, I think, especially in floater range, is going to be huge for Kyra, just because of how poor of a finisher he is, and how just how much trouble he's had as a finisher going back to his years at Alabama. And I hate these ads. I need to just buy YouTube Premium or whatever. But very excited to watch Amen. Amen is one of my favorite players in the league, one of my favorite prospects ever. Yeah, that shot didn't look great from Jalen Green. Just looks a little slower and clunkier than usual, where he's usually just quick getting it up with the high release. But that's just, I don't know. Definitely do think he looks off, and he is, again, supposedly injured, but nice one right there. But again, the shooting's obviously going to have to be great for Jalen Green, and I think it will be pretty good. So I'm not really worrying about Jalen Green at this point. Defense, of course, has to improve for Jalen Green. As great drive by Dyson Daniels. I think one of the best ways he can develop as a scorer, which is to me his biggest issue, is as a strength creator. Great job using the spin move. Basically goes right through Jalen Green and right over him, using his height and his touch to get off that floater. I think he's going to be really important for them this year. Big finish by Amen, who, if you are a fan of this channel, you should know how much I've talked about Amen. But really great cut, smart cut into space, nice pass by Jalen Green, finished through contact. I, despite his percentages at OT, have very little worry about his finishing. Like, the athleticism is too unbelievable for it to be anything but, like, good, solid at the worst. And given his rim pressure, I think that's totally fine. If that's, like, the baseline we're working at. More CJ buckets off curl screens, off step backs, just the CJ special. It's what he's been doing forever. Amen, great pass to Şengün there. This is, I think, a way that Amen is going to be able to mitigate his early career, I would expect at least, early career shooting issues with decisive movement off the catch. As we see here, immediately notices the open space, notices his teammate open, waits for that cut, gets it to him in a perfect position to go and dunk that ball unresisted. Amen, just such a brilliant basketball player with all of those. I mean, obviously, like, the highest level passing. Tari Eason sighting, one of my favorite young players in the league. He was like a good defender last year as a rookie. He's going to be an absolute monster this year, I think. And I would imagine he finds his way into this. I don't know. Is he going to find his way in the starting lineup? That Rockets team just has so many guys, especially with Dylan and with Fred VanVleet, who are both good players, but kind of weird for this current Rocket direction, I suppose. Again, we see Kyra attacking off the catch. I really like this as well. We see him cut. Good job noticing that Ingram got stuck, diving into space, and quick burst, and his acceleration is still top tier. And that was a really tough finish that, again, you don't want to have to rely on, but always good to see Kyra make these tough float scoops. And again, we see Tari Eason make a big play here. He's just really, really talented. He is a really incredibly good defender, and I love his offensive potential too. It's just like a slasher with his strength. Great job digging down here to steal that pass. Out in transition. I'm going to end up finishing this one with one layup, I believe. He's really, really great, and definitely one of, like, the best young guys on the Rockets, on a team with a ton of really interesting young guys. Nice little bucket there by Ingram. Another bucket by Ingram. Jeff Green being on the Rockets is so hilarious. Ingram just can get in his mid-range bag and be very unstoppable. I think that's definitely not his best usage as, like, a primary creator scorer, but in spurts, and especially against bench lineups, more Zion, not so great defense here. Especially against bench lineups, I think Ingram can be just a nuisance and a very difficult self-creator to stop. Amen for three? Yes, that has to be a shot that Amen is hitting when defenses go under. When they don't want to let him drive, he needs to be able to punish that under. And always good to see him hitting it now. I would not expect him to shoot very well in his rookie year, but I do think it can improve, and I would expect it to be okay enough at some point in his career. But hey, maybe he'll end up shooting well this year, and he'll just be the best player ever. Who knows? CJ, again, we see Zion's rim pressure and threat. And yeah, this was the dunk that I saw. Amen is really, like, the best athlete. Oh my God. One of the freakiest basketball athletes of all time. I would say, like, definitely better than Jalen Green as an athlete, which is an insane thing to say because of how good of an athlete Jalen Green is. But Amen is just that special. And this is some peak preseason basketball. This is preseason. That I will tell you. Another CJ ISO, very much more preseason defense for Jabari. And I definitely have been critical of the Rockets front office in the past. Great dribble handoff, 2-dribble pull-up. Another thing that should be in Jabari's bag comfortably. Like, I've definitely been critical of certain decisions they've made, and I still feel that way. But it is undoubtable that they have acquired a bunch of really good talent. And I think especially in the last 2 years, have drafted really well. I mean, I probably would have taken Ivy over Jabari, but I think Jabari's going to be good. And they obviously got insanely lucky being in a position to take Amen early. Great job here by Jalen Green playing with pace. One of the big issues for him is going to be slowing down, playing with more pace, being more patient on his drives because of how fast and explosive he is. Great job with this little like side reset dribble to draw these defenders away from Şengün before taking another dribble, finding him for a little floater. That's just really high-level point guard stuff from Jalen Green, which is what they're going to need from him if he is to hit the ceiling that he can. And any and all flashes are going to be good. Again, we see Amen passing up an open three, which I don't like. It's preseason. Shoot that shit, dude. Like, come on. I wanted to see him taking all the threes. Of course, ends up getting a Jabari triple here, which is nice, but really want to see Amen shoot those threes. Jalen Green's burst, very special. Dyson was a legitimately good defender last year, and Green dusts him so easily. The explosion is beyond special, and part of the reason why I'm still so in on Jalen Green because of his ability to get easy shots, and he has been a really great scorer on volume and efficiency for a player of his age. So yeah, a lot of Jalen Green's talk. Nice triple by Jordan Hawkins. I think he could quietly be pretty important for the Pelicans because of their potential spacing issues. Especially if they have any sort of injuries, which I think with the Pelicans is just something that you can never really rule out or stop thinking about. They're just an unfortunately injured team, and their best player is as well. Ooh, great spin by Dyson, but even better play by Tari Eason. This is one of those like good offense, better defense kind of moments. And is that Aaron Holiday? Oh my goodness, I cannot believe Aaron Holiday is on the Rockets. That's absolutely insane. And why is he playing over Amen? Come on now. But again, we see Dyson use this like the spin, really great like shoulder movement there. Look how he like whips his left shoulder around very aggressively to create that space. This like again, I think just Tari, beautiful recognition, destroying this play. And actually no, it looks like that wasn't Tari. I think that was Tate there, which is cool. Jason Tate is also a pretty interesting defender, so credit to him there as well, but also credit to Tari for rotating down and continuing to muck things up. Dyson Daniels, easy dribble handoff, more preseason defense, preseason moments, and we only get like a short sec of this clip because I assume there's going to be a transition highlight here. Yep, that is Cam Whitmore for you. But the finishing is going to be a big thing I'm curious about for Jordan Hawkins this year. I was a little lower on him just because of the finishing and the scoring and like the passing stuff, especially with his size. He is a really great shooter though, but it's gonna be interesting to see what he does when presented with a lot of contact and physicality. Can he adapt as a finisher or a foul drawer, or can he play with more pace and use his gravity as a passer? I'm very interested to see how he responds to that. It's going to be a good challenge for him to adjust and like play to the speed of NBA defenses. I mean, it is for basically every rookie, but I think I'm really interested in that for Hawkins because of his role as like an off-ball mover chaser. Nice rotation there by Amen. Cam Whitmore has to be a little more active on this. Yeah, not his greatest day by the look of the highlights, and I don't think he played very much too. I'm not sure he played it all in the first half. Najee Marshall is a very cool bench wing who can handle and finish a little bit, and I'm just excited to watch him again this year. I don't love him overall just because of the shot making and some of the defensive issues, but overall, like, he's very good, and I enjoy watching him. Another Jordan Hawkins. Pull up mid-range, you cannot give him that. He is going to be a wonderful shooter. Love this pass from Amen. I did see this clip where improving the handle was probably my number one concern for Amen. Really like him keeping his handle, holding Dyson in jail. Again, Dyson is a really good defender, and this is great practice and great experience for Amen. Holds them, picks up his dribble, and is kind of in a bad spot, but is patient, reads the floor, sees the tallest man on the floor, and just throws it up, and Boban ends up finishing. That's like what a point guard does when he's in trouble and knows that he has a guy like Boban there. I'm expecting another pull-up where, is Cam Whitmore going under? You cannot go under Jordan Hawkins. Like, I don't know about that one. It's preseason. It's preseason. We're not getting worked up over preseason. Is that a 3 on the way back? Yeah, Cam's going to be a good offensive player. Defense, I think he has interesting potential too, honestly, as I've said in the past, but it could be rough as a rookie, as it is for a majority of rookies anyways, so that's not like a referendum on him. Great catch and shoot 3 here from Tari, who the shooting is going to be important for him. Catch in the pocket, up quickly. A little clunky still, and not the smoothest shot, but if it can be functional, which I think in the past it absolutely shown it's been able to, then he's going to be really good. Man, Jordan Hawkins shooting lights out. He is going to be a really awesome shooter for the Pelicans, regardless of what else he does. Like, he's gonna play a role very solidly, and Oh my goodness. Amen! More Amen goodness. I love him. This is more handle stuff. Wow. This is the kind of stuff that I wanted to see from Amen. The more like winning without pure explosion. Really love the patience here, rescreen, keeps his handle. That was a really clean behind the back that in the past Amen might have thrown out of bounds, but really, really clean hold there. And then again, we see the crazy, like he loves the jump pass. And for most players, it's bad, but he's like Halliburton, where because of some unique tool, like Amen's crazy athleticism, he can just jump over guys. And again, when he has a giant target like Boban, that is really, really helpful as well. So some really interesting plays from Amen in this game. Definitely intriguing stuff. And like I said, he's one of the players, maybe like the player I'm most excited to watch this year, or if not, he's certainly up there. But really entertaining game. Not very great for the full strength Pelicans to have this be their result. But let me know what you think about the Rockets young guys, about the Pelicans, and I hope this is cool.